got beef. Stephen A. Smith always figuring out a way to stay in the news. Stephen A. Smith's pretty smart.
LeBron was wrong, and he will forever be wrong.
Guys back down, and then they try to talk their way out of it. That's what's happening here with Stephen A. Smith. You got to know the backstory on this. And we got beef. Yeah, we got big beef. We got LeBron beef. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Stephen A. Smith always figuring out a way to stay in the news. He is beefing with LeBron James. And you know what? Stephen A. Smith's pretty smart. He's doing it as we head into the start of what? The NBA season, right? You might as well start a beef up as you head into the NBA season. See, you got to know the backstory on this. Stephen A. Smith, well, frankly, he's still reeling because by all accounts, he backed down like a little biatch when confronted face-to-face, courtside, with LeBron James. And he's not happy about that. He's not happy about that because, well, frankly, people saw it, and you can't undo it. Now he's accusing LeBron of having double standard. Really? A double standard, huh? What? For black journalists. All right. You explain this one to me. You got to have a double standard for a black. Everything's black. Everything's white. But wait. You must treat us equally until you don't. And then, of course, when you don't treat us equally, we use what? The race card. There's nothing new to see here. Treat us equally, they say. All right. Everybody wants. Here's Stephen A. Smith bitching, whining, and moaning about LeBron being mean to him.
Well, guess what? I found a way to win anyway. So this is what I've done. And so, you know, what you see is a different culture. That's a conversation we never get into it really about in professional sports, but primarily the NBA, where you got cats and they go at NBA players and stuff like that. Like, you know, you bring up LeBron. You ever see LeBron go at a white boy? It's called what it is. You ever see him do that? You saw him come at me. Closest you ever came to seeing him do something like that was when he called out Brian Windhorst. What you calling out Brian Windhorst for? The man covered you since junior high school and has praised you repeatedly. And you used the Pat McAfee situation to go at him. You understand? And that's the only time you ever seen LeBron James, you know, really go at somebody white. I'm going to call it what it is. You know, so we understand each other. You know, I understand a lot more. And I'll tell you, I'll divulge to my boy and his boy right here, you know, when I did my monologue for 17 and a half, 18 minutes, the day after he decided to go on Pat McAfee's show, all right? And I said what I said and meant every syllable of what I said. Immediately after, I was informed that we won't be hearing more from him about me. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Because I got receipts. I got receipts. Anytime, any place, anywhere.
Yeah, except when he confronted you publicly. See, that's the thing. This is what you got to understand. I look like a dork with these. I can see better, but I look like a dork. What do you think about that eye? Not bad. Anyway, this is what you got to understand. Stephen A. Smith got embarrassed physically by LeBron James. I mean, I've seen this my whole life. Guys back down, and then they try to talk their way out of it. That's what's happening here with Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith, first time a media member ever truly got confronted by an athlete, he backed down. And now he's trying to talk his way out of it. It was like, I don't know if you remember, Frank Kaminsky in the playoffs backed down physically to Jimmy Butler. The next day, Frank Kaminsky's agent was shopping Kaminsky around. He ended up on Dan Patrick and other shows. Why? Well, he tried to talk his way out of it. Well, you know, Jimmy and I have the same agent. We're not really enemies, that kind of thing. That's all you're going to see right now or for the foreseeable future out of Stephen A. Smith. The worst thing that can happen to a dude is that his boys know that you back down. Your boys know that you back down physically when finally confronted by the person whose ass you have been on forever. That is the worst thing that can happen because you talk so tough. This is what Stephen A. Smith does. He talks so tough. Okay. I mean, he does that Kamala Harris thing. When he needs to talk one way, he does. And by the way, Smith, what is this about white boys, you racist punk? Now, that really pisses me off. White boys? What is that? You want equal? You all know what would happen if we went equal. No. See, this is the thing that you got to understand about this entire beef. This entire beef is Stephen A. Smith physically got confronted, man to man. And the appearance to anybody with any brain at any time was Smith backed down. So now he's trying to talk his way out of it. That's all this is. This is no different than in the schoolyard, guy getting punched, bell rings. Well, I would have kicked his ass. That's all this is, but it's an adult version. Period. Nobody other than me knew this was coming, and I said it at the time. It's one of the funniest things you'll ever see. It really is. All right, here's Smith. Here's Smith on his criticism of Bronny that he says pissed off LeBron.
I didn't call those things out until that last part happened. I didn't say anything when he's a McDonald All-American and he was only averaging 14 points a game. I didn't say anything when he went to USC and he had the heart ailment and people were speculating about why that was. I didn't say anything when he said he was entering the NBA draft. I didn't say anything when he ended up getting picked by the Lakers. I didn't say anything when he was there opening night with the Griffeys, Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. celebrating. I stood up and applauded.
That's a great moment.
I thought it was a great moment. And most importantly, I thought LeBron James deserved it because he did so much for the league. I said the league owes him this. Whatever he wants. If that's what he wants, that's what he wants. And the money, he's underpaid. So I don't care what his son getting paid. Go for it. I think his son's going to end up being a good pro. He keeps working on his game. I said all of these things. It's just that after one night in Philly, I said, wait a minute now. Now you asking us to ignore doing our job. We saw what we saw. He's not ready yet. That doesn't mean he won't be ready. And because of that, you caused this whole brouhaha? Nah, we not backing up from that. No, nobody is getting me to back up from that at all. LeBron was wrong, and he will forever be wrong. And as far as I'm concerned, anybody in this business or anybody that wants to be in this business, especially these athletes with their podcasts that don't see it, well, just consider yourself blind or unethical.
Yeah, I'm both. I'm blind and I'm unethical. I know the deal. Like, you can talk like this, and I like Smith. I got no problem with Smith. You can talk like this, but nobody's going to tell you what I'm telling you. You guys don't need to look at this. This is simply a man that got his ego hurt, and everybody saw it. Looked like a coward, a complete coward. I don't know whether he was. I don't know what the words were, but the video showed him to be a typical media coward. And now he's trying to talk his way out of it. Now he's trying to do the typical media thing. Nah, if you don't agree with me, you're unethical or you're blind. I got to tell you, I'm incredibly ethical. I'll put my ethics record up to anybody. I'm blind in my right eye, but my left eye's got 20 whatever. Left eye's beautiful. And I won't be blind in my right eye in about 10 days. But the truth of the matter is that's all this is. And I got to tell you, it's as old as time. You know, when you're I don't know, before you hit puberty, you get in a fight, you run home and cry. Nobody cares. And then there's a certain age where you get beat up, you run home and cry, you don't want to go to school the next morning because the kid's going to make fun of you. That's what this is. That's exactly what this is. And I got to tell you, I get a kick out of it. Now LeBron is trying to set up Stephen A. Smith. There's some funny shit now. There's some funny stuff. Here it is.
The things he says and the things he has said to people, it's gotten back to me. The things that he's tried to do, if it were up to him, I wouldn't be where I am today. It's some low. The day that he rolled up on me courtside, it was the day my contract was announced. that I had stayed with ESPN. Go back and look at the camera angles. I arrived there in the first quarter. He rolled up on me in the third quarter. This is 2025. We got technology everywhere. TNT is a nationally televised game. How is it we got one angle and the only angle you see was of him in his face, but you see the back of my peanut head? I know this, but I know a thing or two about camera angles. I determine them half the time.
Yep.
Do this angle, do this angle, do that angle. This is my business.
I ask you straight up, do you think you felt set up in that moment?
Damn right. Damn right I did.
You thought he had somebody out there too.
Damn right that did.
This is just funny. I mean, you ever hear the Shakespearean term, he doth protest too much? This is what you're getting at. He knows the NBA season's starting. He knows people are tired of him on the NBA. They don't like him. In fact, a Hall of Famer called me 2 weeks ago about going to ESPN, and he ended up saying, I don't think I'm going to do it. And he didn't do it, at least as of right now. Why? Doesn't want to deal with this. Doesn't want to deal with the clown show. His words, not mine. And he's African-American, by the way. No, this is the funniest shit I've seen in media. And not one media guy can figure this out or is afraid to say it. This is simply a guy that got his ass kicked, at least perceptionally, and is trying to talk his way out of it. He had a chance. Get right in LeBron's face. He had a chance, if he was going to worry about the optics, get after him. Do it. You can't come back from being a coward. You just can't. I know. Hey, 8th grade, man, punched right in the face, Darryl Collins. I remember the feeling, and I vowed I'd never having that feeling again, ever. And I haven't, ever. Almost got kicked out of high school, tough. 3-0 in fights in college, tough. Would have felt worse if I backed down. Sorry. That's why I don't back down to people on Twitter. I can't have that feeling ever again, and I'll take whatever consequences. That's the feeling Stephen A. Smith is getting. Like an 8th grade Dan Dakich getting punched, bell rang, didn't do anything about it because the kid was probably tougher than me. Vowed never to have it again, and that's what I know this. Frank Kaminsky, same thing. It's some funny shit, adult style. No, it's exactly what I love it. I love watching this because the coward is trying so hard to convince you he's not a coward. But as he said, there's a video right there, man. And he's also trying to stir it up because the world saw Smith is terrible on ESPN's basketball coverage. He's awful on the draft. He's great with his show and his bullshit when he gets to talk in his different languages and his different octaves and all that other stuff. But he was confronted and backed down. It's more gaslighting. The name of this show should be Don't Gaslight Me. Because he gaslit us about being a basketball player at Winston-Salem. Not true. He gaslights you about trying to act so tough. Not true when confronted. It's all bullshit, and I am here for it. Now, let me take these glasses off, and let me make this read. This episode is brought to you by our good friends at Prize Picks. I love Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is also the best way to get action on sports in more than 40-plus states, including Texas, California, and Georgia, where I got my friend Todd Blinko hooked up, and now he can't get enough. Prize Picks also offers injury reboots. If one of your players leaves a game in the first half, doesn't return, Prize Picks won't count it as a loss. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users. Sign up today. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code DAKICH. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. It's code Dakich to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineups. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. And there's a special max discount promotion live on the board right now for the Golden State Warriors versus the LA Lakers game on the 21st of October. Steph Curry is discounted to only need half a point to win. Mix and match players from hoops, football, baseball. Build your dream lineup. It's really fun. It is. It's really fun. All right, there's always something going on between the lines. This seems to be the case. This is not such a subtle dig by Sean Payton, who now, even though he was a scab, even though he's had a myriad of problems. He seems to be a guru, a Gazda of all things. And I don't get it. No, I don't. He had a lot to say about the quarterback situation with the Giants. Perhaps the craziest game of the weekend. It was. Giants versus Broncos, trailing 19-0 entering the fourth quarter. 33 points in the fourth in the final 15 minutes to beat the Giants 33-32. Payton, understandably, in a good mood after the Broncos scored 33 in the fourth quarter, complimented rookie quarterback Jackson Dart while taking a dig at Russell Wilson. Remember, Payton coached Wilson for 1 year in Denver. Didn't work out well. Dumpster fire, 8-9, 2013. Here's the jab. You tell me, is this a jab at Russell Wilson?
I have a ton of respect for that organization. I spent 4 of my early years there coordinating Super Bowl, first game in this stadium before 9/11, close with the mayor, Tisch family. And they found a little spark with that quarterback. I was talking to John Mayer not too long ago, and I said we were hoping that change would have happened long after our game.
Yeah, I know. You want that change to happen after your game because, well, guess who was the quarterback? Russell Wilson. Yeah, we got beef. That's a shot. Boom. I see, he paused and reflected, as NFL head coaches do. And next thing you know, let me take a little shot here. Boom! Right to the bow. Well, that's good. That's fine. Hey, just wanted to say, I hope you're enjoying the show. Go to youtube.com/@. Don't at me with Dan Dakich. It's all one word. This page is growing pretty quick. And our guys, whether it's Aaron or Davey or Dylan, or whether it is Nick, everybody involved, Chuck, everybody, we're growing this page. This thing's becoming a monster. Go subscribe. Pound that subscribe button. Hit that little bell so you get alerts when the good stuff pops up. What are you doing? Do it right now. You'll never miss it. All right, this is getting a little crazy. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you think on this. Reports have emerged. Listen, the Holiday Bowl is a famous bowl. In Indiana lore, 1979, long time ago, I get it. But Tim Wilbur, in the greatest bowl game maybe ever played, returned returned 2 punts and an interception in one game. Indiana under Lee Corso beat BYU. That was my first introduction to the Holiday Bowl, and I followed it ever since because it's always like 50-48. It's a great bowl game. Anyway, listen to this. Now, the Holiday Bowl has lately been in San Diego, California, a beautiful spot everybody wants to go. Now, and you guess the reason. Go ahead, guess it with me when I tell you where it is talking about being played. It is talking about being played in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. How about that? Pac-12 versus ACC. Why not? Why? You talk about a trip of a lifetime for players. I took my team to Chile when we could only take them once every 4 years. I took them to Chile. Players said, why are we going to Chile? I said, I don't know. It feels like you'll go to Europe at some point in your life. You think you'll ever get to South America to Chile? Oh, hell no. But anyway, it looks like they almost got a bowl game. Revenue stream are limited for us. That's what the CEO of sports in San Diego said. So we got to be creative. It's a pretty creative way. That's where this whole concept, we pursued it. We went down the path. Takes a big idea like this or a big event like this. Takes a lot of pieces to the puzzle to put together. In the end, just didn't come together. So we moved on. We're going to have a great game in San Diego. They tried to have it, and they're not backing away from saying they tried to have it. Hell, they're telling you, yeah, we took a swing. We took a big swing. Didn't work out. All right, what the hell? But anyway, the Holiday Bowl has been held, I guess it was in San Diego then, since 1978. Although the current payout of participating teams totals $5.9 million, you know what I'm going here. The figure would have been significantly higher had the Saudis got involved. You know this. Man, I think that would have been fun for a kid. Yeah, a lot of people would have bitched, whined, and moaned. Yeah, a lot of people would have lost their mind. Yeah. Pull this, it plays Jingle Bells. So what? I'm over all this. Hey, Nobody seems in the NBA or none of these Stephen A. Smiths or any of these other guys seem to be bitching, whining, and moaning about the relationship between the NBA and China, which has the worst civil rights violations in the history of the world. Yet here we are. We're going to bitch about everywhere. Hell, we bitch more about Chicago than we do about China. Nah, it's bullshit. So I don't care. Good for you, Holiday Bowl. Good for you, man. What's there to apologize for? This is getting ridiculous. The San Jose Sharks, they issued a woke apology to their fans after a fan-submitted message appeared on the Jumbotron during Hispanic Heritage Night that read, SJ Sharks fan love ice. Get 'em, boys. Good, so what? Maybe they liked ice. It's hockey. They're playing on ice. So what? You'll be all right. That's my new thing. You'll be okay. And nobody's going to get hurt here. Oh, man, Spanish Heritage Night. What? People that came into the country legally that are of Spanish, Mexican, Hispanic descent should be happy with it. What's the problem? So criminals are mad about it? What? What's the problem there? I don't understand. I mean, all right. During the first intermission of tonight's game, an offensively worded message, which had been externally submitted, was inadvertently displayed on the in-arena scoreboard. Sharks Sports and Entertainment deeply regrets the message, which doesn't meet our organization's values, was not detected during our standard review process. Sharks organization sincerely apologize for this oversight, and we're actively working to determine the origin of the message. Hell, if I did it, I'd say I did it. What, you're apologizing to people that came in this country illegally? Now, I understand you're going to spin this in such a way. So you're going to ban fans or penalize fans because they support a federal agency who are doing their job getting rid of illegal immigrants, many criminals, out of our country at the direction of the President of the United States. That's where we're headed now. Davey, make this make sense to me, would you? Make this make sense. You're smart. I'm dumb. You're a lawyer. I'm not. If they came to you and said, we're going to ban you for this, I would feel you have a legal footing, at least a little bit of legal footing to stand on. No?
But, Dan, first off, we have to remember this is in California. So it's a completely set of rules whenever it comes to what is offensive versus what is not offensive. So I'm not surprised they issued the apology. I'm sure they probably had some intern reading through these replies and thought, there's nothing of it. We'll throw this on the screen. And then, of course, once it's up there, everybody and their mom has to get offended.
Yeah. If they came to you and said, Davey, you know what? You did this. We're going to not let you go to any Sharks games. I can't imagine that if you wanted to. Well, I mean, I assume the message probably came from somebody watching a game at home. But if you wanted to, I assume you could fight that and probably win based on what we just read, where, hey, look, the President of the United States directive. Or you could say, I meant ice. We like ice. We like the pucks. We like ice. What do you think?
Well, Dan, I don't know how much of the audience follows hockey, but over the last couple of years, the San Jose Sharks have been one of the worst teams in the NHL. So they shouldn't be barring anyone from attendance. They need everybody they can get to be in that arena. So that's like one of the last hockey franchises that needs to be pushing anyone away. If anything, they need to be inviting as many people as possible because no one wants to go watch that product.
No, I agree. I do. It's just amazing to me. Let me ask you. Let's put the shoe on another foot. All right. If you were Hispanic and you came in here legally, would you be offended by that?
I wouldn't personally. It's also a joke. You get people are going at this from like a little bit of a funny angle, and you see these things get on the Jumbotron all the time. I would not be offended, Dan, if that was me. But again, I'm a rational human being.
Right. You're not a psychotic, overly sensitive moron like most of these people are. All right. There you go. Friend of the show, Bruce Pearl's got a new gig. We cannot wait to watch. He's spectacular on TV. Earlier this week, he signed a full-time contract with TNT Sports to provide color commentary and studio coverage for the NCAA tournament. But the big story here is that this could signal a shift in sports media. This is from an article by Bobby Barack on Outkick. This is good. Listen to this. Previously, Pearl appeared as a part-time contributor, but TNT's decision to expand his role represents a notable commitment at a time when his political views have drawn increased attention. He faced scrutiny within the sports media for his public support of former President Donald Trump's strong defense of Israel. In a viral post on X, he wrote, President Trump won big because more Americans believe he will fix inflation, secure our borders, support legal immigration, bring peace to the world through strength, and put America first. I pray and I believe he will work for all Americans, uniting us as one nation under God. Reporters pressed Pearl to elaborate on his stance. He reported that his focus is on substance, not partisan politics. I spend more time on issues and policy than I do politics. Really, sometimes they do get political, but it's more about policy and issue. Pearl later praised Trump's handling of Israel's conflict with Hamas, telling the Jewish news syndicate, there's been no greater president in the history of our country than Donald Trump supporting the state of Israel. He's made every right move. He's got elements in his party that don't always agree with him, the American-only folks versus the America-first folks. He's fighting that battle. He's winning that battle, thank God, for Israel. Of course, last week, Trump helped broker a ceasefire agreement that led to the release of all 20 surviving Israeli hostages held by Hamas. As expected, Pearl's open alignment with Trump and Israel has stirred backlash among his peers. Mike Wilbon said he hoped there would be pressure to get Pearl out of Auburn because he had become a divisive person. Pearl also felt like there was no more divisive, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it's pretty much what he said on our show, no divisive president than Barack Obama, which of course led all the idiots like the Mike Hills of the world, the Jamel Hills of the world, the Mike Wilbons of the world to say that Pearl was racist. Again, more gaslighting. When those guys come out and say you're racist, that's just them deflecting their racist views onto you. And that's exactly what Pearl did. They tried it with me a few weeks ago. It didn't work because I had facts on my side and everything went away, of course. But that's always the first move by the idiots out there. White or black, the idiots that are racist can't wait to tell you that you are racist. And Pearl has stood up to it simply by ignoring it and moving it along. You listen, you watch, and you say, all right. As my father told me a long time ago, it's very important that you have good friends. Your friends pretty much tell you what direction your life is going, but don't discount your enemies. People that are bad people, as my dad told me a long time ago, disliking you is a good thing, a really good thing. And if there's consequences to that, so be it. Pearl, getting that job had to just, as they say in coaching, frost the ass of guys like Wilbon. Mike Hill's going to sit up there. Now, Mike Hill, I don't know. He's been in broadcasting for 100 years, and nobody, absolutely nobody, knows who he is. He made a big point of saying you better vet coaches before you go play for them, talking to black kids. Well, I think Mike Hill is right. You better vet Bruce Pearl or me when I coach, because we're going to be the coaches that are going to tell you the truth. We're going to be the coaches that aren't going to pander to you. As I famously said here on this show, one of the highlights of my coaching career is a very, very good African-American kid coming out of the hood where he actually had white teachers, white coaches, white administrators, white counselors, after his 4 years with me, came up to me with tears in his eyes and gave me a hug and said, Coach, you're the first white guy that ever told me the truth. You're the first white guy that ever yelled at me, straightened me out. I go, well, that's sad for you. What's the difference? You're black, white, I don't care. And he gave me the biggest hug with tears streaming down his face. That might have been the highlight of my adult life. Well, that's what Pearl does. Pearl tells you the truth, and it pisses those racists off. So always stand up and never apologize. Good for TNT. If Fox was smart, they'd hire me. But apparently they don't like me. I'm too divisive. But I was the best broadcaster for college basketball, according to the boys at ESPN, Norby Williamson, Burke Magnus, in the history of ESPN. If they were smart, they would. But hey, I like my job here. I'd do both. I wouldn't leave this job. Anyway, there you go. The article is called Bruce Pearl's TNT CBS deal signals a shift in sports media. It does. It does. Kamala Harris, speaking of those that are, well, full of crap, really full of crap, speaking of those that are gaslighting, speaking of those that are telling you lies hoping you believe it, Kamala Harris' book tour continues. Last week we showed you the clip telling the audience she's the most qualified presidential candidate ever. Now, says her goddaughter in college came crying to her about climate change, and asked whether she should even have kids due to it. No. If you're any way, shape, or form involved with Kamala Harris, don't have kids. Here's the lying, cackling weirdo.
Gen Z, I'm very focused on Gen Z. They're a larger cohort demographically than boomers. Their range of age is from about 13 right now to somewhere around 27, 28. And they have only known the climate crisis. They came through the pandemic. They are so worried. If you have a high schooler or a college-age kid in your family, you'll know that they're so worried that whatever their major is right now, or if they're in high school, that whatever job is available to them when they graduate will probably be something they're not ready for. It is estimated that Gen Z will have as many as 10 to 12 jobs in their lifetime. Whereas our parents came out of high school or college, the job they had is the golden watch, right? And they're experiencing what they've coined climate anxiety, which is their fear that because of changing and extreme weather, that the future of their lives is very much at stake. My goddaughter, who's a junior in college right now, was crying to me just 2 days ago, worried about what is the world going to be for me, Auntie, she said, when I want to have kids. Should I even be thinking about having children? That's on top of unaffordable, not for her, but for so many in that generation. They don't aspire to own a home. They don't believe it's within their reach.
Yeah, good. Then don't have a kid. Move it along. Kamala Harris, I mean, how long are these bullshitters going to bullshit us? How long is this going to happen? Seriously, this thing's hurting my head, and it's giving me a scar. How long is this going to happen? Like, how long are they going to keep bullshitting us about climate change? How long? I mean, this goes back to Dan Rather in the 80s talking about by the year 2000, the whole world's going to be gone. Hey, keep making your money. And good, tell your goddaughter don't have kids. Good. We don't need more of yous. We don't need more of anybody associated with Kamala Harris or that guy Doug or whatever. These people are nuts. But I hope your book sells. I really do. I hope your book sells. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I don't know what to tell you. But I would have got into this yesterday, but I don't even have to look. Colts are 6-1. Daniel Jones should be the MVP, but on the betting markets today, he's still behind Baker Mayfield, who was god-awful last night. The Colts are 6-1. Now, people are saying Jonathan Taylor should be the MVP, and maybe so. He should be the Offensive Player of the Year, but the whole thing is set up because Daniel Jones doesn't make mistakes. I'm watching Baker Mayfield last night. He was horrible. I mean, you can make the argument he was the reason his team lost. Daniel Jones has been the reason his team has won, and somehow, some way, at 3-3, Patrick Mahomes sits on top of the betting markets. But I don't know who watches. I honestly don't. Know these media guys, not the TV analysts. I'm talking about the guys that have shows. We're going to talk to a TV analyst next, Charles Davis. But guys that have shows on television that are voters, that are writers, what are they watching? Daniel Jones has been by far the most valuable player of the NFL. His team has the best record. He's played unbelievable. His misses are beautiful. I'll tell you what I mean by that. He's throwing the ball right corner of the end zone, guys being guarded. A lot of guys would try to throw it up as a 50-50 ball. He threw it up as a 75-25 ball, meaning 25% his player is going to get it. 0% the defender is. Or 75% the ball was going out of bounds. That's how you play basketball. That's how you play football. See, in basketball, when you throw a lob pass, that's what you do. You throw a lob. Now, if the guy's wide open, hey, it should be 100%. But if you're going to miss, you never miss short. You never miss short. Why? In basketball, steal, and it's always a fast break the other way. If you're going to miss, you miss out of bounds. Hey, the other team takes it out of bounds. Daniel Jones was so good. I watched every pass. I watched every second of his play this year, and I got to tell you, the man has been brilliant. I don't know what people watch. I really don't. You can tell me Mahomes, fine. You can tell me guys with big numbers, hell. Justin Herbert put up massive numbers against the Colts when he was down 20-3. But the Colts are damn good, and I'll tell you something else. My bet, and I do have a bet, so I'm going to make full disclosure here, of Fernando Mendoza to win the Heisman, the Indiana quarterback, and Daniel Jones to win the MVP should, frankly, be the favorite. Mendoza is the favorite to win the Heisman as we sit here, and Jones should be the favorite to win the MVP. I bet 50 to win $33,000. I win $33,000. We going to Sizzler. We going to Sizzler. And you can have no. That's a combination of two things, by the way. Anyway, speaking of football, the great Charles Davis is going to join us. I want to know what he thinks of Cam Ward. I also want to know what Charles thinks of these coaches. Like right now, we're talking about what? We're talking about a job opening, or it is open, in Tennessee. I don't know what Miami's waiting for. I don't want to see guys get fired. And unless it happened this morning, Mike McDaniel still has a job with the Miami Dolphins, which is kind of shocking to me, really. All right, we'll get to Charles Davis. You see him, you know him, you love him. And you know what I'm going to do. You know I'm going to sprinkle in some Indiana football with it. You know that's coming. What, are you crazy? It is the Kings edition, but it was starting to hurt my head. Eyeball edition. Look at that eye. I'm a badass. No, I didn't get punched. No. I had laser surgery yesterday and a torn retina. We'll be right back.
Football's final.
You see him, you know him, you love him. Charles Davis, you see him all over NFL coverage. But before we get to, you're a Tennessee guy. Does it hurt you a little that Vandy is so good? Like, we're basking in the glow being an Indiana guy. But if Purdue got good, I don't know, man. I wouldn't like it. Where are you with this?
Coach, it hurts more when you lose to Alabama, first and foremost. We're still licking our wounds there. That third Saturday in October is real, okay? And we thought we were good enough to go down there and finally win in Tuscaloosa, and we didn't play well, and Bama played better. And, you know, you always tip your cap. I will say this about our rivalry with Bama very quickly. It's usually been a very civil rivalry, okay? There's a mutual respect. We had a big blow-up during recruiting in the 90s, I think it was. But all in all, Bama, Tennessee, there's a respect that goes along with it, even though you intensely want to beat them. But to your point, all right, if you're at Indiana, you never want Purdue to be good at anything, all right? If you're at Tennessee, you barely think about Vanderbilt.
Right.
Unless they get good. And then that's a problem. And I'm going to tell you a true story. I was in Nashville last weekend for my game, and LSU was in town to play Vanderbilt. And I was in the coffee shop at my hotel morning of the game. They had an early kickoff. They had 11 o'clock kickoff, so it was pretty early in the morning. I was studying, went down to get a little boost. And there was a pocket of LSU fans in the coffee shop. Wasn't hard to tell. You know SEC fans, you're easy to identify, right? I kid you not. In the group, one person says, just out of the blue, you know, I wasn't eavesdropping, but I was right there next to him. And he says, did you ever think we'd have to worry about Vanderbilt? And another person in the group said, no. But today's that day. And sure enough, Vanderbilt went out and beat them. And it wasn't a fluke. They beat them as a good team handles their business, as Indiana is handling its business right now. Everything that we know and have known to be true, Coach, it just isn't true anymore. And you and I, as somewhat dinosaurs, we've got to get used to that. Change. They always say change is inevitable. And we always go, yeah, but we don't have to like it. This is one of those situations where we don't like it because of who we are. At Tennessee, you're not enjoying that Vanderbilt's getting good. If you're at Purdue, at Indiana, you're not. I mean, Indiana, if Purdue ever got good, forget it. I just mentioned that the other day about my high school rival, Highland High. Someone's like, I said, you know what? After games, when you beat your rival or you beat a team, you shake hands, you say, hey, good luck the rest of the year. With your true rival, you never say that. If you beat them and you shake hands, you like, yeah, I hope you lose the rest of them too. That's how you feel. With Vanderbilt, we don't consider it a rivalry. We consider it a nuisance. But guess what? That nuisance is really good this year. Like, that's a good football team. This would not be a case where, I can't believe I'm about to say this. If they beat us this year, it's not going down as a major upset. It's going down that a good football team won the ball game. And that's really taking some getting used to. Clark Lee, I tip my cap to you for what you've done at Vanderbilt. I just hope you don't have one left in Knoxville this year. That's all I'm hoping.
I was 17 years at Indiana. It's my place. We don't know how to act. Like, we go to the game, have a few beers before, go in, leave at halftime. It's great. Okay, we got beat. Now it's like, wait a second here. Hey, I want to go back to something.
This is real.
It is real. It is real. Go ahead.
It is absolute. Coach, I was working for Big Ten Network a bunch of years ago. Illinois was in town, had a good football team when Ron Zook was head coach there. Remember, they went to the Rose Bowl and had Rashard Mendenhall. That they had a good program operating at the time, right? Indiana was actually pretty good too. Bill Lynch had taken over, and they'd gone to the bowl game. They were still hanging in there. We're in the middle of the third quarter of the ball game, and I'm in the booth, and all of a sudden I see everyone leaving the stadium, and I can see it's Assembly Hall, right? I can see Assembly Hall. You can see it right there. And I see people leaving, and I see this stream of people walking to Assembly Hall, just leaving the football stadium in droves. I'm not kidding. We go to commercial. I said to someone, I was like, what are they going to Assembly Hall for? What's going on? They're like, oh, it's the red and white game. It's the basketball inter-squad scrimmage. They might actually stay for all 4 quarters now in the football game.
I'm just telling you, Charles, I was there 17 years. I tell people this. I went to every game when I was a player, basketball player, and a coach that I was in town for. If I was recruiting, obviously, or if we played, I didn't go. I stayed for 1 second half. I was an assistant coach, 1987. We beat Michigan. My mom, my brother, my sister, a bunch of our friends. We didn't leave because we were going to beat Michigan for the first time ever. And I told my mom, let's go. We're going on the field. As the only game in 17 years that I stayed. All right, I want to get to Cam Ward. You just did a game of his, and I'm curious, what are your thoughts on him? How bad, good is this whole thing for him switching coaches in the middle? Where are you at with him?
I don't think because they've switched coaches you're going to see a dramatic jump. Like, it's not going to go from, boy, they're really struggling, to now, hey, they're really putting it together. Brian Callahan was a good offensive coach. I can't defend anything because he was 4-19. I liked Brian a lot. I still like Brian. I hope he gets it. I know he'll get another opportunity in the league as a OC, and he will do great things that way. It just didn't work as a head coach here for a variety of reasons, time we don't have for, right? But Cam now changing with Mike McCoy's the interim head coach. It's still the same offensive coordinator, Nick Holes. It's still the same quarterback coach, Bo Hardigree, who's just now calling plays instead. All of that happens. Yeah, okay. The cloud over the team that had been there for a few weeks, feeling like Brian Callahan was going to get fired, that's gone. So you get a chance to exhale and quote-unquote move on. But does that mean now Cam Ward's going to be a 70% thrower and everything's going to come together? No, coach, because his number one receiver's got a hamstring, right? His offensive line has struggled in front of him. J.C. Latham, their number one pick last year, they played at left tackle and was overweight then, lost all the weight this year, looked terrific, gets hurt week 1, misses 4 games, comes back, and since then has given up 3 or 4 sacks in the last 2 games he's played. You see where I'm going with this? They're struggling all the way through. They can't run it, all those other things. Now, has he hung in there? He has. But he has to take care of the football better, one of our great phrases, right? Coach, he's had at least 1 giveaway in every game this year. Twice in the last 2 weeks, he's gone back to throw a pass, And as he set to throw a pass, the ball slipped out of his hand and become a fumble. Things like this are happening that just can't happen. I think the potential is there. There's a reason he was drafted number 1. But do I think because they changed coaches and all that, the bounce is going to be significant? I think that's a lot to ask.
You know, on the other side, I'm going to ask everybody I know this. Everybody that comes on this show, every football person that I know. I swear to God, Charles, I could play quarterback for the 49ers and I would be like a Pro Bowler and we would win games. It's amazing to me how they just plug in and win. I know McCaffrey's having a great year, but football's a team thing. How is this happening?
Kyle Shanahan and his crew do such a great job of offensive scheme and playing to what the quarterback can do best. And then they operate, and it's incredible. I remember when Kyle took over in San Francisco, and they weren't having the success that they're having now. He made Nick Mullins a viable NFL quarterback.
Yes.
CJ Beathard came in and gave him good play. I had a game in Philadelphia that Philadelphia should have won by like 10 touchdowns. And they went into the third quarter, and they were playing them tough. Kyle has such an innate sense of offense and scheming that he finds ways to get people open that the rest of us are still searching for. You know, it's the old, he's playing chess, the rest of us are playing checkers. Right. And he gets quarterbacks to play at a high level. But, Coach, I'm going to take you one farther because a number of people who were in the same think tank have gone on now to be head coaches, and we would probably say that about their place. Sean McVay, you want to go play quarterback for him. Kevin O'Connell up at Minnesota, you want to go play quarterback for him. All of them have rehabilitated quarterbacks, have gotten quarterbacks to play at a higher level. Look, Daniel Jones, people forget, when he left the Giants, he was in Minnesota for over a month last year, right? Month and a half. He got some bounce off of that, and look at what's happening in Indianapolis now. Baker Mayfield shows up on a Tuesday, starts on a Thursday night in Los Angeles, gets to Tampa, wins the job, and never looks back. Whatever these people are doing, and remember, McVay, Shanahan, O'Connell have all been on the same staff together. They've all hung out together. They're all boys, right? They have a way of doing things that, Coach, we can't totally put our finger on. But if you're a quarterback, you know you want some of that. Okay? Can I get some of that? Because I'm looking pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Daniel Jones, I watch every play. I'm here in Indy, and they're 6-1, and Jonathan Taylor is absolutely great. Not good. He is great. But I got to tell you, man, Daniel Jones, as much as people are talking about him, I think he's underrated even now. I'm telling you, this guy has been so good, Charles, in just simple things like, you know, throwing to the corner of an end zone instead of throwing it short where it's an interception. He just gives his receiver a chance or it goes out of bounds. He has been unbelievable this year, 6-1 Colts. Why? What? Did he get touched by Kevin O'Connell? He was a safety on a practice squad.
The touch from O'Connell helped. You know what else helps, Coach? And you know how you've asked me a question. I'm going to give you an answer in the form of a question back to you as well. There were times when you were coaching when you had to light your guys up. All right, there's no getting around it, right? If you're coaching any sport, there's not a sport out there where everything every single day is seashells and balloons, as Al McGuire used to say. All right, there's going to be that day where you might have to put a little extra into your emphasis about what you're saying to your team, right? But you can do that, and your team will respond if they know you actually do care about them. If they know that you care about who they are and what they're doing and what their lives are about. Those days when you would light them up, I'm fairly sure that at some point, very quickly after practice, you found a way to touch those guys and let them know, hey, old coach loves you. You know that, right? And that's how they respond. Love is powerful. I know this doesn't, I'm not trying to make this too esoteric, but love is powerful. And Daniel Jones feels love from Shane Steichen, the head coach and play caller at Indianapolis. They chose him to come to Indianapolis to compete for that job. He knows that. Oh, they chose me. They wanted me. They signed me. Now they gave me a chance to compete. They didn't just bring me in to make me a backup. They brought me and said, hey, you get to compete for the job with our number 4 overall pick. And they did. And it's going to be a fair competition. And it was. And he won it. And he knows now they believe in him. And that belief, I think, has helped unlock him. Plus, let's not beat around the bush here, Coach. It's a better roster, okay, than what he was playing with New York. Everyone talked about how Daniel Jones couldn't throw it downfield. Look at it. They throw everything short and what have you. We had them week 1. And I told my crew, one of the few things I've gotten right in the last 10 years, Coach, I said, in the first series of the game, they're going to throw this ball downfield like they mean it. Because Daniel Jones is not just capable, they have people who can go get it now. I think they opened the game with like 5 or 6 straight passes. Tyler Warren was targeted 4 times. One of them was a big shot downfield. And sure enough, off we go. But now he has people throw it. He can throw downfield to Pittman. He can throw downfield to Downs. He can throw downfield to Warren. He can definitely throw downfield to Alec Pierce. And guess what? He's doing it. Ball's being pushed downfield. Big plays are happening. Jonathan Taylor's eating people alive in the running game. That's a really good offensive line that he has. It's a better roster with people who believe in him, and I think it's unlocked things. This reminds me a little bit of Bud Grant when he was head coach of Minnesota Vikings and how that whole team had a love for each other that allowed them to go to 4 Super Bowls. Unfortunately, they didn't win any, and so they've never gotten the due that they deserve, right? The Buffalo Bills who went to 4 straight, you don't get your due. But people have to understand how hard it is to get there. Buffalo did it 4 straight years. Minnesota did it 4 times under Bud Grant. That's pretty phenomenal. But that love for each other and that love of coming to work every day, and my coach believes in me, and I believe in these guys, and we're seeing it play out on Sundays.
Last thing, before I let you go, I got to ask you what something means. Speaking of Jones, when I would watch, and I didn't go. They practiced while my show was going on, so I didn't go to training camp. I got friends there. They're like, "Yeah, it is pretty even." So I kind of said, "Look, if it's even, I want to see what Anthony Richardson can do. I want to see, the athletic ability, blah blah blah. If it's even." I got a text from a buddy of mine that's with the Colts. He said it ain't even, and okay, why? He said Daniel Jones came in here and has done absolutely everything every day that a starting quarterback needs to do. And I texted him back, what does that mean? He goes, Dan, it's just too long. We'll have a beer after the season. I'll tell you.
Over dinner.
What, yeah, what does that mean? Like, what is that? What does all that mean in the building and all that, Charles? You've been in those buildings. What does that mean?
I would bet that it means the exact same thing that Curt Cignetti has done since he took over at Indiana. You do all the big things, sure. You got the big things on your list and you know what they are, right? You got to come in and you got to get acclimated. Here's where my locker is. I met with the trainer, I met with this. Here's my playbook. I'm going to have my meetings with my OC and my head coach, and here's how we're going to do things, and there's the weight room and all that. And then you got to do all the small things. Hi, guys. I'm Daniel. I'm here to be your teammate. I'm going to be competing for this good job at quarterback. Anybody want to go to dinner? Anybody want to go bowling?
Yeah.
Anybody want to play golf?
Yeah.
Anybody want to see this? There's a great article in The Athletic right now that happened not too long ago about Daniel, about how vanilla guy he is for all of us. But behind the scenes and beneath the surface, he's your number one worker. He's the guy that leads your sprints. He's the hardest worker in your weight room. He's the first guy in the building, the last guy out. They have weekly dinners with players, and he's always late because he's coming from the facility getting extra film in. You see where I'm going with this? How does it happen?
Yeah, I do.
Coach, the big things, sure. But Daniel Jones is taking care of all the little things that make people want to play for you. And I'll leave it with this. Every team I've ever known, when you've had a quarterback deal, the coaches, the staff, the organization, they know the adage always holds true. The team ultimately will pick your starting quarterback. Why? They will pick the quarterback by how they respond, how they play, what the production is, all those things. And if you just stand back and allow the team to talk to you as a head coach, you pick your quarterback. And that's what happened in Indianapolis.
Yeah, it's funny. To your point, Josh Downs, a wide receiver, and his brother, Caleb, who's a stud at Ohio State, they have a podcast. And when they announced Daniel Jones, Josh Downs could not have been more effusive in his praise of Daniel Jones. To your point, he couldn't. I was thinking, well, he's been with Richardson, even though he might like Jones. He doesn't want to say it to offend somebody. He didn't even back down. You know what I mean, Charles? He's like, hey, that's your point. And when I read that or I saw that, I'm like, okay, there we go. That's the answer right there. You just said it. And it
happens on every level, Coach. And a lot of times what happens.
Yeah, sure does.
College is a great example very quickly. In college football, the team, if you let the team pick your quarterback, you're usually going to have more success. And many times in college football, they pick the guy who's less talented than the guy behind him. How many times has the guy behind that guy gone on and been the pro, but the college guy who runs the team really doesn't make it, but they connect better with their teammates? It happened at Georgia not too long ago, right? It's happened. I could go on so many places. North Carolina, Marquise Williams was the quarterback, and Mitchell Trubisky sat behind him. They never made the change. They won 10, 11 games. Who went to the pros? Trubisky. All right, I could go on with that. The biggest one is Brad Johnson at Florida State with Casey Weldon. Casey Weldon was a Heisman Trophy finalist. I don't know if he ever even sniffed the NFL. Brad Johnson was a more talented guy. They moved better with Weldon. They stayed with Weldon. Brad eventually got his shot, got to the NFL, won a Super Bowl, but Casey Weldon was the quarterback on those great Florida State teams.
It's funny you say that. When Jimmy Clausen, who was the number one recruit, pulled up in a limo at the College Hall of Fame and announced that he was going to Notre Dame, and the College Hall of Fame is in South Bend, I said, this ain't going to happen for Notre Dame. It may happen when Clausen's 30, but it ain't going to happen for Notre Dame. To your point. I love talking to you, Mike. Where are you at this week? What's your game?
I'm headed your way, Coach. We're going to be in Indy.
Woo!
Yes, sir. Headed
Let's
your way.
Go.
The Tennessee Titans heading to town. So looking forward to being there. Can't wait to get there and have some fun and do all those things and continue to watch Indiana. But as much as we marvel at Indiana, as much as we marvel at Vanderbilt, I know you're making the same point to everyone who asks. These are not flukes. When you watch these ball games, you are watching legitimate top 10, top 5 football teams win. What Vanderbilt did with LSU last week was not because Diego Pavea has had a great game and he's fun and he's Johnny Manziel 2.0 and all that. He is all of those things. But the rest of that football team's really good. Curt Cignetti, what he has done at Indiana has been phenomenal. And already it's 2 quarterbacks. Nate Rourke last year, this year Mendoza.
Right.
Okay? And what he has put together, that win at Oregon, again, not a fluke. They won the football game. It wasn't Oregon came out, we missed this or we did that. No. Oregon was battling from behind the whole way, trying to get there. These are legit programs. I tip my cap to both of them, but that doesn't mean I have to enjoy Vanderbilt and their success. That's just not happening.
Hey, that's really well said, and I got to tell you, it shocked the shit out of all of us. I'm a long-time Indiana fan. Thanks, Charles. Appreciate you, man.
Take care, Coach. You be good.
There he goes. Catch him this Saturday. Indiana. Hey, you come to Indy and watch the Colts, I'm telling you, you're seeing a really well-coached football team. And his point about Daniel Jones being loved and unleashed is so right. I mean, could not be more right. All right, we come back. I got a lot to get to. I miss you. Why am I wearing shades here? There you go. Check out that. Look like George the Animal Steele after a fight with the Bruiser. Be right back. Look it up if you don't know. Football's Warriors, a.k.a. the Dodgers. Well, I mean, you can not like them, and you can root against them. And I'm with Davey. We don't need Canadians winning baseball. We don't need that crap. But anyway, Dave Roberts, who I really like, I think he's a very cool, even-keeled, smart man. He added more fuel to the fire with his post-game comments in the wake of the Dodger 4-game sweep of the Brewers behind. Honest to God, I think it's the greatest performance I've ever seen in professional sports by Shohei Ohtani. I do. I think it's the greatest performance that we've ever seen. I mean, look, 10 strikeouts, Batters look lost. 3 monster home runs. In my era, guys my age, remember it was Bob Welch against Reggie Jackson in the World Series, and Reggie went deep 3 times. Hell, Reggie got himself a damn candy bar out of it. But he didn't strike out 10. And he didn't make guys that are the second best team, if not the best team in the NL. Well, they had the best record. The the Brewers hitters look completely lost, and Brewers hitters do not look lost. But my man did it. It's the greatest performance I have ever seen in professional sports, college sports history. I didn't see Wilt's 100-point game. I saw Michael 55. But I've never seen anything like that. Never. Here's Dave Roberts talking about the Dodgers and their massive salary and their gathering of MVPs ruining baseball.
And I'll tell you, before this season started, they said the Dodgers are ruining baseball. Let's get 4 more wins and really ruin baseball. Let's go.
I like it. No, I'm not going to lie. I love it. No, hell yeah. Shohei Ohtani has had a game for the ages. Yeah, he has. I mean, let's just say what it is. As a baseball fan my whole life, as a guy who played baseball in college, I think I'm in 2 or 3 baseball Hall of Fames. I'm not sure. I got to look. That was unbelievable. That's like the big fat kid in Little League. You know what? I'm going to hit 3 home runs, strike out 10. You know, if you watch the Little League World Series, every team's got that freakish kid who's like 6'3", throwing 90, and then he hits a couple home runs. No, that's what that is, and you don't see that at the big league level. You don't. I'm sorry. But you did the other day. Tell me a better performance. I'll hang up and listen. In fact, I think we should do this today on our YouTube channel, put out a poll. Give me is this the best performance ever? And maybe in the comments, if not, who in the hell had a better one? Reggie Jackson has said hit 3 bombs. Yay, Rob. That's great. Unbelievable. Historic. Iconic. Didn't strike out 10. Wow. Holy cow. Entering today, only 12 hitters had ever hit 3 home runs in a postseason game. Only 26 pitchers ever recorded 10-plus strikeouts, 2 or less hits, no runs in a postseason start. Shohei Ohtani just did both in the same game. Look, not only is it the greatest baseball performance of all time, it's the freaking greatest performance in the history of professional college sport. Non-minor league, no, not even minor league, non-little league division. I mean, every little league has that, that phenom. We call it Cliff Jenkins disease in our little league. Cliff Jenkins was the hardest throwing, biggest hitter, shot jump shots from the 3-point line, and we didn't even have a 3-point line in 8th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. I don't think he ever played high school baseball or basketball. But he was really good. What are you going to do? No. It's always fun to troll your opponent after a big win. I'm digging it. And that's what Texas A&M did after beating Arkansas and the great Bobby Petrino. Here's what they said. High octane. Went hog wild. Bobby Petrino famously was talking about a high octane offense. And there you go. They're showing Bobby Petrino after the crash. This is so good. That's after the crash with the co-ed or the department worker. I love it. One thing I'm starting to dig, and I'm digging a lot, I'm starting to dig the fact that these guys in these departments, whether it's Major League Baseball, whatever it is, are now starting to troll others. I dig it. A lot. Glasses down. We've hit the 1-year anniversary of some of Donald Trump's magnificent, most iconic moments on the campaign trail. We're going to take a look down memory lane as we look at the Donald. There's never going to be another president like Donald Trump. Everybody, they're too dumb. They're too dumb. They're not smart enough to understand, hey, this can be fun. You can be among the peoples. Here's Trump arriving at a garbage trunk in honor of Biden and Kamala calling, well, us Republicans garbage. Here he is.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
Awesome. No, that's all it is awesome. They call us deplorables, garbage. It's all gaslighting. It's all nonsense. I mean, Trump is literally taking the garbage out, and he's exposing all of the clowns. Just imagine a city not wanting safe streets for its people. Hello, Chicago. Hello, Indy. Damn. Breaking, Donald Trump is riding a garbage truck less than 24 hours after Biden called his supporters garbage. Here's Trump working at McDonald's and connecting with voters. There he is. Here he is.
A lot of fun here, everybody.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Look at all the fake news over there. Hello, everybody.
You can fake this, right?
And you know this is compliments of Trump, okay?
Yes, thank you. Mr. President,
yes.
Please don't let the United States become Brazil, my native Brazil.
We'll keep it good.
Please.
We're going to make it better than ever, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, Mr.
Compliments
President.
of Trump.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you over there. Have a good time.
Thank
nice
you.
to see
You
you.
too.
Bye,
Nice
darling.
to see you.
Have a good time. Thank you, honey.
The gaslighting this is great stuff. This is how you connect with the American people. He's going to learn how to make fries. Here you go. Let's learn how to make fries with the Donald. Look like Terry Francona.
Right there. Everybody got it? Yeah. Good. You put that right, hang it right up there. Yeah. And then you want to do the salt over here?
Yeah.
I did these ones already. They're good. You just got to do that one right there. So grab that.
Let me give him extra salt.
No. Yep. Oh, yep. Good. Okay. Right there. And then we're going to grab the fry scoop right here.
Right.
Put it into there and just give them a twirl that way.
Okay. Yep. Where's the little thing?
Medium.
There you go. Just learn how to make fries. So here it is. This really sums it up. Remember last year when Donald Trump worked at McDonald's? This year he negotiated peace in the Middle East. How about that? How quickly you can rise in America. You can go from a lowly, most of us worked at fast food. You can go from a drive-up fast food worker making fries to the President of the United States making deals, and I love it. I do. There's nothing better than a president that resonates with us. See, why do you think after all of this, Chuck Schumer, titties out and all, tried to make a fake hamburger? Why do you think Nancy Pelosi tried to show you ice cream in her $1 billion refrigerator? Why do you think all these clowns on the right, or on the left, are now suddenly trying so hard to figure out how to connect with Americans? They don't know how. They have no common sense with that. And by the way, the whole no kings thing. Nancy Pelosi's been in office for 54 years. She's mad at Trump for 4.5 years. She's ripping up a fake crown. It's all gaslight. It's amazed me. It's kind of infuriated me, but I'll get over it. It's amazing, the gaslighting. Everything they do is gaslighting. Everything is lying. Everything is deflecting. It's glorious. You see it everywhere, whether it's X or whether it's Facebook, whether it's wherever, news, it's all bullshit. Astounding. Hey, Jennifer Flavin, I do look like Terry Francona. Call me Tito from now on, please. No longer Dan. I go by Tito. Anyway, Jennifer Flavin, wife of the legendary Sylvester Stallone. By the way, Tulsa King, Stallone's new show, is the worst acted show in America, and he is America's worst actor, but you can't stop watching it. And I don't know how the two correlate, but I can't wait till Sundays when it comes out. I watch it every single Sunday sometime, if not Monday sometime. And it's god-awful. And he's the worst. But anyway, he's Stallone and he moves like this. Dwight Manfredi. It's awesome. It's terrible, but it's awesome. His wife hit the nail on the head when discussing the seemingly massive influx on trans kids amongst woke Hollywood actors, saying these losers treat their kids as accessories. Boy, is this true. Listen to Jennifer Flavin.
Why do you think it is that so many kids in Hollywood now and kids of, celebrity parents are transgender? Is there something in the water in Hollywood, or?
I just think Hollywood is it's all about expression. So, however you want to express yourself. So if you feel like a cat today, you're a cat. And it's so loosey-goosey. I don't think that we're really understanding that these kids are not our accessories. They're little human beings that need structure. And structure is really important for them because it helps their brain organize everything. And I think growing up in a Hollywood home, there's really no structure because you got this thing going and you've got private planes and you got all these giant homes with chefs and secretaries and assistants and, housekeepers, nannies, and there's just too much of everything. It gets really confusing for a little person. And it's okay what you decide to be as an adult, but raise them just with good common sense. I mean, my daughters were all tomboys. They prefer to wear pants than dresses, and they love sports. But I never said, oh, you're a boy now. I just said, you love to play sports. You love to hang out with boys. That's awesome.
Yep, that's exactly right. No, that is exactly right. Yep. By the way, just got an alert. 2 more people shot right now, today, this morning, downtown Indy. That's just what we do, or just off downtown. I don't know what downtown is, so you racists that came at me, suck it. It's just every day. All right. I agree with Jennifer Flavin. I think she's awesome. I've always thought she's awesome. Don't know why I even knew who she was, but I used to get People magazine because, frankly, it was the only crossword puzzle Tito here could do. I think when I consider myself Terry Francona, I'm going to talk in the third person. I think I'm going to do that. 1600 block of East Tabor. 2 people were shot, a man and a woman. The man is dead. There you go. Hey, Top 5 Tuesday, top 5 reasons for somebody to miss work. Number 5, laser eye surgery. Yeah. Yesterday, I had laser eye surgery. I took a swing. I usually get these floaters. I took a swing. My wife and I, 2 buddies, were playing our brains out, 27 holes the other day. About the 25th hole or whatever, I hit a shot. Next thing you know, I'm walking to the fairway. I got these floaters. All right. By the way, with these floaters, I knocked this 3rd shot on the green, made the putt par, knocked the, par 3, parred out. I was even par after 7, then the rains came. True story. So 7 comes, we go in. We're going to grab a bite to eat before we head home. I'm sitting there having a bite to eat. About an hour later, I go, Lee, I can't see. So what do you mean? I go, I got these floaters, but there's like a film. Saturday night, Sunday comes, things feel a little better. Monday morning, this isn't getting better. I call Price Eye Vision Place where I had gone for these floaters before. They said, you got to get in here immediately. I go, well, I got a show at 9. No, Dan, now. So I called Gary and Aaron, called my show, afternoon show. I said, I got to go. Next thing you know, I'm in the vision group, 8 million tests later. They send me over to the retina guy. I got a little tear in the retina, blood in there. Guy does the surgery, 3:30, I'm driving home. Hurt like a mother. So that was my excuse. Hey, I got a retina tear. I think Gary and Aaron were like, yeah, he's probably playing golf. See? Yeah. But I want to thank all of them, man. What great doctors I had. They got me in, and away you go. Number 4, best excuses to miss work. Number 4 is this. Cubs are playing a big afternoon game. Now, that was the reason I'm sorry to miss, school when we were kids. Hey, Dad, can we go to Cubs? Yeah, let's go. Cubs are playing a big afternoon game. Let's go. my brother got kicked out of Andre in high school. Senior did stay. Father, I think it was Schweitzer. No, I forget the priest's name. Told my brother, don't go. My brother went. Kicked him out of school. They called my dad to come in. My dad goes, hey, well, you going to kick him out? He can't go to college? Well, next thing you know, back in school. I never did. I don't know why. I like going to school. I didn't mind going. I got to see all the hot girls. But the Cubs having a big game is a big deal to those of us that grew up in Northwest Indiana. It's a really big deal. If the Cubs are having a big game, you want to be there, particularly opening day. Opening day, fantastic. Number 3, best reason to miss work. Hot girl is staying over. What can I tell you? I did it once. It was the spring. I was working for Bob Knight. Started dating this girl that eventually became my wife. She stayed over. She was making breakfast. I said, I got to go to work. I went in, sniffed around. Knight was in there. People were in there. I'm going to Irish goodbye it. I did. I went back home. Hung out. Watched soap operas. Ordered a pizza in the afternoon. You can show Hot Girl on the screen if you like. When Hot Girl wants to stay over for the day, we'll figure work out. And by the way, in this day and age, I don't even know what missing work means. I don't even know. What does missing work mean? You can't miss work. You just take this thing into the bleachers. You take this thing, Hot Girl's over there. You take this thing and you start going, okay, here it is, blah, 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 blah. That's pretty good reason. It is. Number 2 reason for missing work is the boys are getting together. Doesn't happen often. Guy comes in town. Hey, I'm only going to be here for a couple days. The boys are getting together. What are we doing? We're going to have a noon lunch. It's going to turn into, maybe a Darty, maybe golden tea back in the day. It's going to turn into something. I don't know. But what? I don't know. But it's going to turn into something. And again, are you really missing work in this day and age because you got your phone? Are you really? I mean, think about it. You're not really missing work. Hey, I tell you this, though, going back to something to do with the boys, noon, always a golf match at Cascades in Bloomington. Hebe, bar owners. If Knight was out of town, I'd go. Didn't have a cell phone then. Next thing you know, here came the cart, the Cushman or the golf cart. Hey, Dan, you need to call Coach Knight. Need to call the office. Crap. Every time I see a cart right now, this moment, even today, 25, 35 years after working for the man, if I see a cart coming my way that isn't a beverage cart, I'm like, oh, crap. I got to call the office. And the number one reason for skipping work is simply this. I didn't feel like going. I didn't feel like going. Just didn't feel like it. Now, I've never done that. In my lifetime, I have never done that. But I have had people do that. You know what? I didn't feel like going. I just didn't feel like it. Now, that's a big thing with millennials. Why aren't you going to work? Didn't feel like it. Well, what are you going to do? I don't know. I just didn't feel like it. Mondays are for the boys. That's right. They are. You know what? I didn't feel like it. I had a friend of mine tell me that the other day. He's not a truck driver, a delivery guy. He doesn't do a show. It's not, he works in an office. He is an analyst for something. I don't even understand it. I said, what are you doing today? He goes, he called me. He goes, you want to go golfing this afternoon? I go, I don't know, this a few days ago. Yeah, I don't know. I go, why aren't you working? He goes, I don't feel like it. And it hit me. Davey, have you ever missed work because you just don't feel like going? You can't in this job, really, because it's out there. But have you ever in any other job? Like I used to do this with class all the time. Yeah, I don't feel like going.
Yeah, I've not done it. I've not done it for a job, Dan, but I will say that that final year of law school, that feeling really set in. It's just like, nope, don't feel like going today.
Yeah, I don't feel like going.
It's like I'll take a nap. It's like you got class at 2. It's like, no, the bed's right there. I'm just going to lay down for the next 2 hours.
Yeah. I mean, I had a guy tell me, he goes, yeah, I got my phone. I just, I don't feel like going. All right. Okay. I've never done that. Like, even when I was working in the summer as a student at Indiana University Northwest, I was working in their physical plant, mowing grass, raking, we actually tarred roofs. I never just said, yeah, I ain't going. I wish I had, looking back. But I've never done that with this show because this show's fun. But, yeah, I've never done it. But I had a friend that did. I'm going to ask Michael Thompson if he's ever done that. Like, broadcasting is kind of too much fun, right? I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, no, definitely have fun with this.
As a coach, you never say, yeah, I don't feel like going to practice. I don't feel like going recruiting. I don't feel like, I guess a few times, I don't feel like making phone calls. I'm going to take my wife to dinner. I mean, that's different because you can always call tomorrow. It's not a set thing. But, yeah, very weird. Very weird. Yeah. All right. We'll talk to Michael Thompson next. Former number 1 pick, 2-time champ. Lakers broadcaster, hear Thompson and Trudell on ESPN LA. You can hear him. I love Michael Thompson. He's next.
Football.
Yeah, he's the number 1 pick in the draft, and when he comes on the show, he always makes news. I don't know how, but Michael Thompson always makes news. Got to ask you. He is the voice, by the way, of the LA Lakers, analyst on all games, as we know. The NBA season starts tonight with the Lakers. But I got to ask you, because you are the man, all things WNBA, what do you make of the players coming out, private conversations, whatever, the Collier lady and others coming out against a commish? What is that good for the league, bad for the league? What do you think about that?
I don't like that. Anything that's any meeting that's said in private should stay in private. If Nafisa and Kathy had a private meeting and talked about some intimate things, intimate details, that should remain private. You can voice your concerns and your complaints, but you shouldn't talk about what was talked about in the meeting. That should be said in confidence and should stay there.
What do you think is going to happen with the WNBA? Do you think this is going to continue to explode? Everybody's going to get what they want?
I think eventually they'll come to some kind of settlement, but from what I've heard, the WNBA is willing to compromise, which they should. The ladies should make some more money. And I heard the numbers are pretty good. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of work stoppage for a while, but eventually they'll get things worked out.
When the NBA starts, we got Luka for a full year in LA. You know the team better than any. What are expectations? And I've seen pictures of Luka in great shape. Is this in fact the case? Is he in great shape?
Yeah, he looks a lot better than he did last year. No question about it. He's really concentrated and focused on getting himself in better shape so he can give the Lakers exactly what they need. And so far in the preseason, he's been toying with the opposition. Almost look like he's playing against high schoolers out there. He's making it look so easy. It's uncanny how easily he scores against all kind of variety of defenses. So he looks to be in playoff form already, and it looks like he's ready to take this team to the next level, which he's expected to do, along with the help of Austin Reeves, who's on the borderline of being an all-star now. LeBron is still LeBron at 41 years of age. So this team is deep, and they could definitely make noise in the Western Conference this year.
I had an NBA Hall of Famer tell me the league is not very good. The young players letting LeBron James at 40 kick their ass is embarrassing. You buying that?
No, not at all. LeBron works his tail off, probably works harder than any player in this league. Now, I don't see everybody's workout, But if anybody works harder than LeBron James, I would be surprised. Well, how do you think he's able to play at this level at 40, 41 years of age? He doesn't just roll out of bed and eat donuts and go play. This guy works out, takes care of his body. He's meticulous with his physical conditioning. He's a great example for every young player in this game. And these young players aren't letting him do anything. He's doing it because he pays the price. He takes care of his body, treats it like sacredly. And that's the reason why he can play at such a high level at 40 and 41 years of age. So these young guys aren't letting LeBron do anything. He's just doing it because he puts the work in to be able to do it.
If the Lakers, let's just say they get to the NBA Finals, all right, for the sake of argument, who's the biggest competition out west? Is it the Rockets?
Oh, no, it's still Oklahoma City. If they're healthy, the Thunder aren't going anywhere. You see how young these guys are? Are they like all under 25 years of age and they just won a championship? Shea Gilgeous-Alexander hasn't even scratched the surface yet how good he's going to be. That Chet Holmgren is just going to get better. They continue to get these draft picks to come in and contribute. So Oklahoma City is still a favorite. But the Lakers are one of the top 8 teams in the West who are going to be in the playoffs, but there's a lot of competition. It won't be easy for Oklahoma City, but they still are the favorites to get back to the finals.
Yeah, well, you were former number 1 pick. What? All right, Cooper Flagg comes in, a lot of hype, going with your son down there in Dallas. What's your thought? What kind of pressure is there or isn't there? What's this like for him in his first training camp?
Cooper Flagg is the real deal. He can do it all. Defense, offense. Right now he's the best wing shot blocker in the game. Right now, at 18, 19 years of age, the way he can block shots and the way he helps out on defense. He has no weakness in this game from what I've seen so far. I love his work ethic. I love his approach to the game. It kind of reminds me of an 18-year-old Kobe Bryant where he wants to be great. And the thing about him is he walks into a situation where there's no pressure on him because he's not expected to carry the team as he would have been if he would have went to New Orleans or he would have went to Charlotte. He goes to a veteran-laden team in Dallas, a team that can win the championship if they're blessed with good health. So all he has to do in his first year or two is just go down there and contribute and not be expected to carry the team because they've got 3 Hall of Famers in the lineup when Kyrie Irving comes back, guys who won championships, and all he has to do is fit in and do his part, and they can let him develop at his own time. That takes all the pressure off of him.
What's it like coming in as a first pick in the draft, though, into a locker room? Is there jealousy? What's that like?
No, guys aren't jealous of him. Guys are envious of him because all the money he's making out of his rookie contract and, of course, all of his endorsements. But you're not jealous of him. You just wish you had his deals. And guys understand that that's the thing about the NBA. Even when I was in the league, when I played against Magic and Bird, Michael Jordan, those guys, we were envious of them. We weren't jealous of them. We weren't mad at them because we wish we could be like them, as great as they are. And so Cooper Flagg walks in with all his fanfare and hype, and his teammates are going, okay, young fella, number one, prove it to us. Prove that you are everything that people say you are. But as far as, not having hard feelings towards him, no, we all envy him and wish we could start off our careers like he is starting off his career with all the money and fame and skills.
That's the number one thing, though, isn't it, to players? Hey, I want to see how good you are.
Oh, no question about it. I'm sure they've tested him in workouts, informal workouts. They're going to test him in practice, not just his opponents, but his teammates. Going to see what he's made of because they're going to have to depend on him when the game starts to show up and to contribute. So they want to test him early to make sure he can handle the physical and mental part of the game.
You mentioned the Mavericks, and your son obviously has won championships, a Hall of Famer. You mentioned Kyrie. You like that front line, don't you? I remember last year, if they can stay healthy, you like that front line of the Mavericks.
They've got the best paint protection in the game. Anthony Davis, Gafford, Lively, and now you add in Cooper Flagg, who can block shots, and then P.J. Washington's a tall, physical wing player too. They should be the best paint protectors in the game, and if they're not, they're underachieving because they have three great shot blockers in Lively, Gafford, and Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is arguably the best all-around big man in the game on both ends of the floor, the way he can defend and score. So there's no excuse for Dallas to be out-rebounded or to be scored on with a lot of points in the paint because they have that good of rim protection with those four guys now when you add Cooper Flagg.
Michael, this might be a dumb question, but is it possible for Anthony Davis to, I'm going to say this wrong, but I hope you get the point here, avoid injury? Like, is there, some guys just get injured and blah, blah, blah. can he avoid injury? Is there, I know getting in shape, all that kind of stuff, but that's never really been a problem with him. But what can he do to avoid injury?
Well, sure. Of course, he's got to take care of his body, but you can turn your ankle at any time. It happens to anybody, can miss 2 weeks. So, but he's done it before where he's played 75, 77 games. So he's done that before. So sure, he can avoid the injury. And I expect him to this year because he knows he's got to validate that trade for Luka Doncic. So he wants to lead this team deep into the playoffs, probably to the finals. And so I think Anthony Davis is going to play I would expect him to play at least 77 games this year. Sure, not everybody's going to be AC Green and play in every game. But I expect him to play deep into the 70s this year.
When last year the Pacers came out of nowhere to a lot of people, we kind of knew they were very good. Who's a team that you're looking at? You say, you know what, that team's done pretty well this offseason. They got a star, that kind of thing. Who's a team that you're looking at that maybe could make a Pacer type run?
Well, obviously it's pretty obvious. When you say it, it's not like some surprising young team that's going to pop up from nowhere. But the Houston Rockets should make another leap. They just signed Kevin Durant. That was their problem last year, Dan. They didn't have a finisher. They were good, but they didn't have a guy who's a finisher. Kevin Durant's one of the top 10 finishers in basketball history. Put the ball in his hands, says, get me a bucket in the last minute. He does it as well as anybody in the history of the game. So if he can stay healthy, he's still Kevin Durant, even at 36 years of age, 37. So because they added a finisher like him, a closer like him, I expect Houston to make another leap. And their goal should be obviously to win the finals, but if they're not in the Western Conference Finals with Ime Udoka's leadership and coaching ability, and then adding Kevin Durant based off what they did last year, even though they're going to miss Van Vliet, still Houston should be the team to make that next leap this year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this. Hey, thanks a lot, Michael. Thanks for coming on. I know it's a busy day, league getting going. Thanks for your time.
Hey, I feel like I'm talking to Jack Nicholson with those glasses.
I feel so stupid. I feel so dumb looking like I'm seeing myself and I'm like, oh man, but this looks worse and it hurts my eye, man. No,
you look cool, man.
First time anybody's ever said
you look like you should be in LA, not Indianapolis.
That's right. I'm bringing LA cool to Indy, baby.
That's right.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
All right.
There it is, Tito Francona. That's what I look like in these other glasses. I got that Tito thing going. There you are, me and Tito side by side. I ain't mad. I like Tito. Oh, man, I just hope this damn thing goes away. That's all I hope. All right, hey, we got to go. Hot Mic is next. Thanks to everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, unless we don't feel like it.